And I always like to start with a statistic. And the one I found this week that I thought was eye-opening is that over 60% of women our age, over 50, have reported that they're feeling super stressed and less confident as they get older. And
Hmm.
really, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing to kind of change with the hopes of changing that mindset and getting people instead of going in a downward spiral to go back up in a good trajectory, um, and focus on self-care and focus on the mind and body and how all that's connected. Because it's not just our bodies that are changing and our skin and our hair and everything else that we're dealing with. Um, it's most crucial to take care of our minds because I think that's the source of where we tend to feel um, not great about ourselves at this age. And
Hmm.
that's where I want to make a massive change and unlock all the vibrancy that I believe we still all have. It's just finding it and tapping into it and exploring how to make lifestyle changes that are very intentional, not just kind of living through life and going through every day, just either on automatic pilot, which is easy to do, right?
Hmm.
Or just getting lost in busyness and other people's problems. And it's now's the time to focus on ourselves and managing that stress and setting realistic goals, um, that we can really nurture and make happen in addition to relationships, which is why I like to get our very small group together. And that's why we go to Rotary, right? That's why we do a
Hmm.
lot of things outside of our marriages, our home, and it's just to kind of create that inner circle that we can trust and sort of count on and fall back on when we really need a little help. And it's okay to ask for help.
Yeah.
So, like I was saying, this is more about transforming our health, our mind, not just our bodies. It's overall big picture well-being. There we go. Um, how have you been doing, like in general? How are you feeling? Have you been healthy as far as just around town? Because everyone that I know has been sick or getting sick or getting over being sick. Like,
In general, I don't get sick much, so
yay.
I think I stay pretty healthy. I get like maybe one cold a year, so that's good.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so that I've been doing good. I think Steve's got a cold right now, so he's
I knew
being
it. Those
head
guys.
puppy. I know. It's like, oh God, I see it coming on.
Yep.
But yeah, I think good in general. It's just been an interesting year, I guess, for me too, and I just feel like that's it. Like I don't think we talked about this, but um, I went from being when I was with AVH on this team of people, and I was always the baby on the leadership team. And
Okay.
now I'm like the oldest one on the team here. And I'm like, and I don't feel old, but it's like such a different mindset, right? I just feel like I'm in a different place in my career and stuff too. So that's been really interesting to just kind of process through and um
Well, to me, that says you're not older. That says you're wiser than the rest of them and you have more experience. And I am certain they're looking up to you and just absorbing everything that you have to offer more than you thinking, oh my gosh, I'm in this new world of younger people who sometimes seem to be taking over the world at a quicker pace than we did when we were their age, right?
right.
But
And
I'm sure,
everybody, we're all good friends, and I don't feel like I don't walk around feeling that way, but it is a shift in where I'm
sure.
at in my career and thinking about, oh, the next 5 years, I would like to be done. And so it's just all of a sudden I'm at this point in, oh, wait, I'm not the working class, I don't say working class, but I'm not in that mode of
Yeah.
career driven and what's
Right.
next. So
Right. Right.
it's a really interesting place to be.
And
Um,
that's one thing we're going to talk about. And I'm guessing that that's probably creating a little stress because
a
that
little,
is where you are right now in your career,
yeah,
um, and fairly new job, right?
yeah, been about a year and a half.
A year and a half
So
still.
yeah,
That's not like being
yeah,
somewhere for 5 or 10 years. Where,
or 20 like the last one.
yeah, exactly. It's still very new. Um,
Yeah.
but if we understand stress, we know that it ages us prematurely, and
Mhm.
we don't want that at
Mhm.
all. We don't want, we want to make a huge difference to change that and reverse it
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
manage it properly. Um, because that leads to cellular aging too.
Mm.
And do you know what telomeres are? Have you ever heard of telomeres?
Mm-mm.
So, well, when we age, as our cells age, obviously that's where diseases can enter because it's just a greater increased risk when our cells
Mhm.
are deteriorating. So, and that's a natural process. So there's not a lot we can do about it, but we can slow the process down. So telomeres are at the end of each of our cells. They're like end caps. Kind of think of it like the plastic end of a shoestring,
Mhm.
like the tip of a shoelace, if you
Sure.
will. And that's what's called a telomere, and it acts like a protective cap to keep that cell from getting damaged and fraying because that's what happens naturally.
Mhm.
And the cells divide, and then that's when problems happen. When we're under constant stress, um, that's when we produce cortisol. I'm sure you've heard of that.
Mhm.
That's a hormone that's very bad, and that doesn't protect us at all. It's just, it shortens those protective end caps, those telomeres that I'm talking about, and that's when our cells can really decline. But the shorter those telomeres are, the less are, well, the shorter that they are, the less they can regenerate.
Mm.
So we want cells to rebuild, right?
Yep.
Because they can repair themselves. And that leads to faster aging when they're unable to do it naturally. And that's when the risk of heart disease and diabetes and even some cancers enter in. So I guess what I'm saying is that our bodies are going through so much change already that
Yeah.
the more that we can manage those levels of stress, and hopefully we can keep it very low and
Mhm.
manage those high stress, because it just can accelerate the aging process on a cellular level that you can almost not control.
Yeah.
So how do we do that? We can manage it through deep breathing. We can manage it through practicing yoga. Tai Chi is a great, uh, what do you call it? Tai Chi is a great way to work on the mind and body all in one,
Mhm.
all at one time.
Do you
Um,
do Tai Chi? Have you done it?
no, but Bill's daughter did, and I watched
Really?
her do it
It
quite a
looks
bit.
amazing, like just that
Oh,
flow and the energy and
exactly. They make it look so simple and so
Mhm.
fulfilling. I don't think I've tried it because I'm not sure I can move that slowly. So that there's my
Yeah.
problem, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how to slow down to even just go through those uh the motions that seem
Mhm.
so rewarding. Um, but besides doing that, which is, somewhat physical activity, you could also take a
Mhm.
walk in the park on a warmer day. Um, and even just being around loved ones and
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
Obviously, all those things lower our stress levels and really can reduce the risk of the age-related diseases that I had mentioned.
Yep. Yep.
So we already mentioned some kind of things that, well, at work that stress us out. Is there anything else that besides gray hairs or anything. We can't let that worry us anymore.
No.
We're beyond that. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like I'm a big, I do practice yoga. I do try
Good.
to be I'm pretty even keel. Um, so I don't feel like I get overly stressed. I just get, if I get too much going on, then that's that energy, right? Then you get a little bit,
Right.
it's more doing too much
Well,
versus,
that's going to be my next point because
yeah.
what we have to do is create a daily routine and schedule it.
Hmm.
When I know that I need to work out, I plan it in advance ahead of the week. So when I see it on my calendar,
Yeah.
gosh darn it, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get to the gym. And otherwise, if I sometimes, even for me, if I don't see it, I'll just get so caught up on something else that I'll
Yeah.
forget or it'll be too late or whatever. And um, creating a practice that we just get used to it and make it a habit
Yep.
a few times a week is huge. And
Yeah.
it involves nutrition, like thinking about your nutrition and how are you going to get enough sleep? And oh, you look so much clearer now. You've been
Oh,
playing.
good. No, no, I think it might even be just my camera on my computer because I was just gonna wipe it off. Hold on.
Yeah.
No. All right.
Okay.
Maybe.
Anyways, we live here in Aspen, and I think we have an advantage.
Yeah.
First of all, just such a warm community
Mhm.
and all the different things we can do indoors, outdoors, just to give our minds and bodies a break. So we're
Mhm.
lucky for that, and we should be thankful and be
Yep.
grateful every day that we have this opportunity to live here and be happy here.
Oh yes.
So let's see, what else did I want to talk about? Um, Being proactive with our health. In other words, checkups and routine exams and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And again, I think around here, our doctors and practitioners are pretty good about making sure we are where we're supposed to be
Right.
for appointments and when. And but it's really important that we stay on top of that because it's easy to say, oh, I'll go next month or oh, I'm not having any issues. I don't feel anything.
Yep.
Let's just wait till next year. And
Exactly.
that could be a problem that you don't realize is happening that compounds, and then before we know it, it got ahead of us. So we
Right.
don't want that.
Yeah. And
Um,
you feel fine, so you put it off. So,
exactly.
you know.
We can't do that. We can't afford to do that. Um, we talked about our community and having all that social support, which is
Mhm.
really good for us. It's better for our health. Um,
Do you find that here? I don't see it as much anymore because I have some close friends, but it it does seem like as I've gotten older, the friends, and we all do this, right? We travel so much or we're gone so much. It's like I can't. It's hard to have those really deep relationships with people that are gone all the time. You know what I mean? And I
True.
think, and I don't know if you found that here, but it just when I lived down valley, I felt it. I had a closer group that was actually core that's there versus here. I feel like my friends are half the time gone, and then we're gone, and then it's like so. It's just an interesting. I don't know. I've been
It's like,
struggling a little bit with that. Like,
you
you
know,
know, who,
I know exactly what you mean. When I lived down valley, um, I had a core group of friends and we did things together during the day, you know, during the evenings, on the weekends.
yeah.
And here, well, I think down there, maybe this seems silly, but you might have been a little more isolated. So you kind of stuck to that core group of
Mm,
people. Up
mm-hmm.
here, there's so many people coming and going from all around the world. You're meeting new people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you have your friends here. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to control. When we lived down valley, we had more control, right, of our time and
Well, it's easy just to run across the street and, you're hanging out with the same neighbors or whatever it is, but I don't feel like I have
Yep.
that living up here like I did. I still have the same friends down there, but it's a lot more effort
Yeah.
to get together. And so,
Yeah. And I think the world these days has changed that.
true. Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, for me, that was 10 years ago that I would say I lived in Carbondale.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there wasn't as much for technology, business. I didn't have as much going on at the time. And
Mhm.
yeah, it was a little easier to stay more focused with that core group of people. Now
Mhm.
everyone's just all over the place. It's almost kind of sad, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, I do find myself getting like bummed out and I'm like, and she's always like, "You have a million friends." I'm like, "I know, but
But I
I'm
don't,
feeling lonely today." And
I,
and it's not all the time, but when you have those days where you just feel like, "Wow, I feel alone." I know I have you, but you
yeah, yeah,
so
no, I know what you mean. And that's, and how many more friends do we want to bring into our world? It's,
mhm.
uh,
That takes energy and time and focus to
and
really
trust.
yeah, and trust. So
Yeah.
but
But just to enjoy all the new people that you meet and make good
mhm.
choices, uh,
Mhm.
make sure they are who they say they are, because I know up here in Aspen, there's a lot of very interesting people who maybe don't have
Right.
the best intentions and others
Yeah.
who have the greatest intentions.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
so you got to juggle a little bit and trust that because of all of our years of amazing knowledge
Mhm.
and wisdom, that we can not make bad decisions that maybe we had done in the past, me for one.
No. No bad decisions.
um, okay, so meaningful relationships, that's very crucial. And maybe we need to set a goal that if there's someone that means a lot to us that is easily accessible here in the core of Aspen, we should make a point to reach out once a week and make
Mhm.
that connection and go grab a coffee and or a Chardonnay or whatever.
Yeah.
Even just sending a text and let them know you're thinking about them. And you know what? Even that I have to write down in my calendar.
Right.
I text a friend of mine who lives in Florida. I'm thinking about a friend who's just getting back from Thailand who lives here in Aspen, and I have to make a note to reach out to her. And maybe
Yeah.
even once a week, I'm going to put it on my calendar. And you know what? Sometimes if we want a closer friendship, we do have to work for it
Mhm. Agreed.
if we want it,
Right.
um,
Yeah.
because we can't assume that the other person is going to reach out. And if it's something that we desire, it's kind of up to us. Even
Mhm.
I find that with my longtime friends. If it weren't for me, I have a feeling that we wouldn't be still as close as we are now as we were then,
Yep.
because I feel like I'm the
You're
one
the one who
that
keeps that.
always
Yeah.
reaches out and tries to keep it going. But it's important to me, so that's all that matters.
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
Okay, so having a power of purpose and passion in our lives is really important. Um, any
I agree.
passions that you have that you're not pursuing? I know last week we came up with there was, I think it was Maureen had picked up her, no, Jeanette. Oh, gosh, everyone was doing something new. And I think Maureen was playing a guitar again that she hadn't picked up in 30 years. Jeanette was doing a screenwriting class that she'd been wanting to do or had done 30 years ago and just started it again because she had something a story she's writing. So interesting. And really now's the
Mhm.
time when we should be able to um, put something to the forefront that we've really put aside for all these years because we've been raising children and working hard, and we're still doing those things, but um, time to take a little time for ourselves and make sure that we never leave something behind or left on the table that we didn't accomplish that we would feel bad about. later down the road, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
I think,
and we need to align with whatever those are and make it happen because we can do better in so many different ways. Um, Maybe for me it's Italian. I could be doing better for sure.
I just wrote
Um,
down learn to speak Spanish. I've learned it how many times over the years and taken how many years of Spanish, but
I think
nope.
we talked about this a few weeks ago or a couple months ago.
Yeah.
We're not just going to wake up one day and be speaking a foreign language unless we practice, practice,
Right.
practice.
I know, and it's constant. So yeah. I
And
did it for a while, but time
yeah,
to time to do it again.
yeah, time to do
To
it again.
actually learn.
Yeah. And again, it's just finding the time and you're going to have to put it in your calendar.
Hmm.
Um, I have in my calendar every night to do Italian homework. And sometimes I listen to podcasts when I'm getting out of the shower, getting ready in the morning or in the evening. Just little things so that it's in your ear.
Yeah.
And I don't know, you might find something that you enjoy. There's a podcast that I listen to. It's called Coffee Break Italian,
Oh.
but I'm
Hmm.
100% sure they have every single language that they
Yeah.
talk about. Coffee break.
I'm writing it down. Oh,
And the
I'm
reason
typing it.
the reason it's so good is because they're literally like 20-minute like back and forth dialogue, conversation, lessons. So
Hmm.
it's real easy to listen to one and move on.
Yeah.
You-
And I think they tend to go a little bit slower, so they're not super
Yeah,
complicated, right? So
yeah.
you start to
Like
get
you
the
don't
feel of,
not the kind of thing you have to sit there and write things down or anything. You just
yeah,
sort of
that's
absorb.
a great idea.
Yeah, coffee break Italian. I'm sure there's coffee break Spanish. Same people.
Yeah, I bet there is. Cool.
Um, okay, good. So do you know what SMART goals are since we're talking about this?
I,
SMART.
hmm
They
I
are.
do. I teach that in HR
You
setting all the
did. Of
time.
course you did. Okay, so for those who might be watching this at a later date who don't know, it is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. That's a SMART goal. And they can be both short term and long term, right? And it's having action steps to make them happen. So what did you teach? Did you teach both long term, short term? Are they both a good idea, or should we only focus on one or the other? What do you think?
Um, I I mean, I like having both. I think it's good to set some short-term goals and have that focus, and
Yeah,
then also having those, what do you want in a year from now, or
yeah,
where do you want to be? So I like to have both, but
yeah, I
um,
do too.
yeah, not always great about it, but
Well, awareness is key. So,
yeah.
I guess it's creating action steps to make those goals happen, and maybe that's what we're not so good at. And I'm going to find a way to try to teach that a little bit as we progress through the next few weeks. Um, let's see. I mentioned gratitude a little bit earlier. What are three things that we might be grateful for? I know one that I said earlier. It's living in this amazing community where we have so much right outside our doorstep that
Yeah.
can bring us so much joy. For me, it's taking one ski run, even if I only have the time just for one, puts such a smile on my face. Not so much yesterday because it was so cold. I think
Yeah.
I was crying because it was so cold.
Uh,
I had ice cubes hanging off my eyelashes by the time I got to the
oh,
bottom.
oh no, no.
Um, it's been pretty brutal out there.
I
Uh,
know it really has.
I'm not a fair weather skier, but this is a little nuts.
Yeah,
Um,
family, of course.
yes.
Mhm. Just health. I
Yep.
mean, just being healthy and able to do the things we love to do.
Agreed. Okay, very good. So you brought up retirement in the very beginning of this call, and that's what I wanted to discuss at the very end of this call. Like, that's what kind of makes us a little maybe uncomfortable because we don't know exactly what that looks like. Um, we're getting closer to it.
Hmm.
However, I think for a lot of the women that I know that's part of this group, it's not going to be easy for any of us to do nothing. Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, we're always giving back in major ways and being involved in the community, volunteering, mentoring. Um, it's definitely an opportunity for new beginnings. And I've dabbled in a lot of those things outside of Rotary with um, being a big buddy and doing different things. I can only imagine always being a part of something like that and being active and giving back, right?
Hmm.
Teaching to someone who really needs a little guidance or a hand to hold, right? Um, I think some of the big fears when it comes to retirement are, well, probably the biggest is outliving our savings. And I think I saw a statistic that 1 in 3 women over the age of 50 do not have $100,000 saved for retirement.
Wow.
Um, and I can probably believe that. We're not
That's scary.
we're not perhaps so good at putting money aside every time we get paid to make sure we're okay several years down the road. So yeah, that is something to think about. And if and how can we immediately start to change that? Because we can't assume that someone's going to take care of us forever. We're fully responsible for ourselves.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, financial security and having being secure with your finances definitely leads to overall um, better physical and mental health because it's
Hmm.
just, money can be very stressful, right?
Yep.
And it's not about how much you have, but just having peace of mind that you're going to be okay when um, things happen unexpectedly, uh, that you're not prepared for, but also um, so that you can take care of anything that you desire, all your needs and wants. Um, and that's why we work so hard, right? Just to kind of have some be self-sufficient and just take care of the things that we need to.
And to be able to live a similar lifestyle, right?
Exactly.
And not feel like you retired now. You get to stay home and do. And some people love to just stay home and read and whatever, but
Yeah.
to have that
Yeah.
similar lifestyle to what you're used to and want to see.
And you have someone in your own home that we know and love. Steve is he's like very retired, right? But
Yeah.
he's got this little side gig with Ski-Co. It's not even a side gig, it's like a major gig.
Mhm. He's working full time.
Amazing.
I know, but yeah. Yeah, because I think he just realized, wow, I did all these things over the summer and I still want to play and do some things and work. And
Yeah.
so, yeah.
And that's perfect. He's doing exactly
Mhm.
what he loves, or he's in the
Mhm.
environment that he loves. I hope he's
Yep.
skiing as much as he as he
He's
loves to.
he's getting it in there.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, good. Well, remind him that tomorrow is Rotary Ski Day if he's going
Oh,
to the meeting and if he has time, even just to come up for a run or two before, because he's kind of based out of
yeah.
Highlands, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, yeah, I'll ask him. I think he's working tomorrow, but I'm sure he wouldn't miss it if he's not working. So,
Okay, good. All right. Well, Alicia, that's all I really had to
cool.
kind of sort of go through today.
Thank you. Yeah, I was just looking at the workbook and making some notes and stuff. So it is always
Good.
helpful to do that because, yeah, it's one thing to read it, to actually write down thoughts and, you know,
Well, you get a gold
pen to
star.
paper. Not
I
really
know.
pen, but
Well, the workbooks are complete all the way through the eighth module. There's one
oh,
more that I'm working on right now for the final ninth module. So hopefully it gives you
awesome.
a chance to actually, like you said, think and put pen to paper and look at it often.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
We'll
Thanks
see you.
for taking the time with me.
Well, you as well. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yep. See you in the morning.
Okay, thanks,
I
Alicia.
won't be blurry, I promise.
No, I'm gonna come and touch your face.
Yeah.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.
Bye.